Good afternoon. I'm live and welcome or welcome back. It is Monday, October 27th, the last Monday of October. Can't believe it, but it is. Okay, let's see if anything's happening. I've got my computer down here today, so I don't know if that's going to show up there or not. And it is. I usually don't have my computer down here, so I don't see anybody hopping on yet, so I'll give it about a minute. And with the last week of October, we have Halloween coming up. In my neighborhood, they already had theirs on Saturday. It was a beautiful day. Hello, Shirley. Welcome. Okay, I don't want to get distracted by what's over there on my left. So, and other neighborhoods have theirs on the traditional day of Halloween, which is the 31st, and this year it's a Friday. So hopefully the weather holds for those who are having theirs on Halloween. And hello, Rose, and welcome to you. All right. If you read and saw the preview that I posted, I am working with a brand new, will be available next week. I don't know if it is on actually the 1st, or sometimes the new online exclusives go live on a Tuesday. So, but anyway, it's coming up, and it's called Petals of Beauty. Let's go to my desktop so you can see what I'm talking about. And this is the stamp set. And now there's a lot in the whole suite. So that's the stamp set. These are the dies for it. And then there is another set that goes along with the suite, different bundle. And the suite means you usually have about two bundles of stamps and dies. And that's Words of Beauty. And these are pretty cool. I will use these later, but right now I'm just going to use the It's Your Birthday stamp out of this. Because what I'm going to show you today didn't work with these words, but I love Just Because. I've always loved being able to send a card that says just because, for no reason whatsoever. Now you'll notice that these are coming with the new packaging. So everything is photopolymer, and everything will match up in the same size shape. Sadly, they did not add magnet sheets to this changeover, which I wish they would have. So I'll continue to use magnet sheets that I have and that I purchase elsewhere. Okay, let me show you the paper that is with this suite. And that's what I'm going to focus on today, because you'll get to see both sides. Now I have a card that I already made with this piece that I'll show you later. This is the one that I'm going to use for the video. So that takes care of that. Let's get the rest of them out. It's really lovely. When you think you don't need more flowers, you need more flowers. So this is the first one I showed you with that background. Here's this one. So we've got some Darling Duckling, Petal Pink, Mossy Meadow, and this is the one that I showed you, Calypso Coral, which is one of my favorite colors, and crumb cake, although I'm using basic beige today. I'll explain that in a minute. That is a wonderful neutral that you should have that goes with everything. Okay, we've got this one, another floral. Beautiful. More floral, but a little bit less here. And I'm assuming, I don't know that for sure, just because I'm looking right now, that this might be able to be die cut. I don't know. I'm on the fly here, so I don't know if that can be cut out or not. So perhaps not. So I just got into this today, so I don't know that that is the case, but I'll have to play with it. And exciting news coming out with this latest online exclusive release is vellum. For a couple reasons, I don't know what the reasons were, but 2, maybe 3 years ago, they discontinued vellum. We had cardstock vellum in 8.5 by 11. And it's just a great accent on cards. You don't usually use a whole sheet of it anyway, so a little bit goes a long way. And maybe that's why they discontinued it, because it didn't sell enough. I don't know. They never asked my opinion. How about that? But this is our new vellum. And it's nice and thick cardstock. When it says cardstock vellum, and that's not what they're calling it. They're calling it just vellum, 12 by 12. But it is thick. It's not like, remember the old vellum, very, very thin, that we used to use when we had airmail letters? Is anybody old enough to remember that? And it was really thin because they needed it to be light to go and not have as much postage. I don't know. So I'd have to research that back in my memory bank. But anyway, we have this back, and I'm going to use a little piece of it today. So let's get started. Let me show you first of all. Let me put this up there for a minute or so. If you need to place an order online, there is my online ordering site at patmayer.stampinup.net. But I want to show you the card that I'm going to make with this paper. And it's a flap that opens like this and opens like this. So you get to see both sides of the paper. And then it just tucks under like that. And last week, I think it was on Thursday, Stampin' Up! Had a class which is available for customers as well as demonstrators, and it's called Traditions of Christmas. It's $30. And in a short, let me put that shortly, in a short way. Once you paid for the class and got it, then it will be available to you. For us, I did it on the day that it became available. So now I'm assuming if you order it and get that class, it is available immediately. And you get all the information on how to cut the cards and put them together. But there's an exclusive Facebook group, and you can go at your own pace. It lasts about 2.5 hours, and it's a lot of fun. This is where I got the idea for it. And I don't right now want to show you the cards and the projects that we made, because I'm saving that for another day. But this is one of the cards. And then I use this same one to make a Halloween card for my great-grandson. So it's very easy to do. I'll show you another one at the end that I made as well. So let's hop on, let's get going. Let's put that away. Okay. First of all, I have a piece of 5.5 by 12 piece of the designer paper. And there's a design on this, of course. So let me show you back this one again. We're going to fold part of this back. So this is the part that you're going to see folded back. Depending upon what you want, you could do it this way. But I want this inside for when it opens. So I'm going to score this at 4, 8, and 10. So if I wanted, if I did it the other way, then you would get the other side, if that makes sense. So kind of watch your direction if you need to. And let me get my trimmer here. I wanted to wait and do this. So we have 4. Make sure that your cutting blade is out of the way. So 4, and I like to go over my designer paper 2 or 3 times, but lightly. Okay, go over to 8. Okay, maybe I didn't do this the right way. We're gonna see how this turns out. Let's see, did I do this right? Because I want that to fold back. Okay, I think yeah, I did it wrong. 4. Okay, having a little dyslexia here. Okay, this I want on the inside. Yeah, that's right. So there's my 4, my 8. It won't make any difference one way or another. And 10. Having a little bit of a brain freeze anyway. Besides, my day started off with a repairman coming to hopefully fix my dryer. And that didn't happen, so I have to go shopping for a new dryer. It was about a 10-year-old dryer, and yeah, it's going to fold the other way, and that's okay. That's really okay. Yeah. But let me double check. Okay, this was 4. Yeah, that's right. 8 and 10. Okay, so it's backwards from what I had planned, but that's okay. That's the way we work. And this is going to fold back like that, which actually looks just fine. Because then we'll see this on the inside. So yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. And this one's going to get scored there. That's going to get scored there. Yes, that is what I wanted. So that when it is closed, this is what you see. And then we're going to decorate this. So now I want to add adhesive here. So anyway, back to the dryer. I have to go buy a new dryer tomorrow. And fortunately, I'm okay on clothes and everything else that I don't need it. Although he said I could use it for short loads and stuff like that. But it makes a horrible noise. All right, so there we go. I hope I didn't digress too much and make you confused. So it's 4, 8, and 10, starting from this side. depending on the side you want to have on the inside. And then it's a 5.5 by 12 piece of designer paper. That's it. Okay, now let's see what I've already got cut here. And I love that we're using Very Vanilla. We've got a piece of Very Vanilla that's going to go on the inside. And I'm just going to leave this plain. So I'll go ahead and put that on there now. So how's your week going? Okay, I'm going to fold this up a little bit to make sure that I'm not right up by the score line. And this is 3, I think this is 3 3/4 by 5. So this piece is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so there's our fold. And maybe I've done this before. I don't know. I did not go back and look. But it's always good to bring these things back. Then you kind of remember what we do. Okay, on the envelope, before I go on and do the rest of this, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Hopefully the post office wouldn't have a problem with it. And I'm going to put a strip of this down at the bottom of my envelope. And this was a piece that was left over after I cut 2 5.5-inch pieces. So I can get 2 pieces or 2 cards out of this one piece of paper. So we're going to put pretty good amount of adhesive on here. Let me see what I'm going to need to trim off. I'm going to go ahead and trim that off first. Having a good week so far, Rose. That's good. Hey, every day is a new adventure, right? Okay, so I'm going to trim this off now because I want to put adhesive on those ends. I think our good weather is gone as far as warm weather. We're getting freeze warnings. And I don't know if it actually did a freeze this morning or not. Okay, let's get those flowers going in the right direction. And put it right up to the edge. And that seal really does keep that on there. So I think that would go through the machines at the post office just fine. Just a little tinge on here. So there's that. Now I have cut out from the Label Me Grateful dies this label. And I believe this is the first time I might have used this. I'm not sure. And maybe I bought it. Maybe I bought it for that label. I don't know. And we're going to assemble this. Okay, so you did have frost this morning. I know we had a frost warning, and I didn't go out because I was getting things done down here for the repairman because I knew he was coming between 9 and 11, and he was here like right after 9 o'clock. So anyway, this is going to go here. And remember, this is going to flip out. So whatever we do, we don't want anything to go on this side of this envelope with any of the creations that's going to go over there or any of the adhesive. So I'm going to keep it that way. And this is a perfect size for this too. So here I have a piece of the vellum that I cut out of this die. And then I stamped and die cut this one. And that's with Mossy Meadow. So that just adds a nice soft little look behind there. So let's put the card aside and just use kind of the center of this grid sheet to create on this side of that label. So we're going to put that there. And then I stamped this flower, the large flower, with Basic Beige, stamped it off, and then stamped it again with the two-step part over it. And then this little piece in the center is also stamped with Mossy Meadow. And that's going to go on there like that. So I think one flower is plenty. Okay, just like this one. I was actually going to do something with ribbon, and I forgot to put it on the inside, so I may do that here. We'll see. We will see. Maybe not. Okay, so now I have this part created. Let's turn this over, and this is a great way to use your tear and tape to create an anchor for things that you're gluing behind a label or anything else. So I'm just going to put that piece of tear and tape there because I know it's going to hold those. And that way I don't have to use the glue there. Actually, I can put a little bit more there to make sure that it's secure. I love tear and tape. And I don't need to take off the release paper because I'm going to use dimensionals to put that down. So that's how that will look on the card. And what a nice look that vellum gives to that. And it just is going to kind of flop there. It doesn't have to get glued down. But this is all secure in one piece. So now I know where that's going to go. Let's go to the sentiment. And this is why I save all these nice little pieces from cutting off and trimming down my cardstock. And I have the, as I said, it's your birthday. And I'm not going to put anything on the inside right now. So this works on the outside. This is where it would go with just because it's your birthday. So I'm going to just stamp that. Now this is long. But it just fits perfect on that strip. And I think that ends up being, yeah, those little 1/2-inch strips. That's a good idea, Rose. Let me try that. So I'm just going to at these letters or these words. And let's cut a little bit off of this end. And this calls for mini dimensionals. So let's see here. It actually folds out pretty well. I don't know that I really want to be able to crease that back. So I'm going to skip that thought and see where these words kind of fall on there too. If I can get my fingernails to work. It's your, and that can go off the edge a little bit. This can go over here, of course. It's your birthday. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and add dimensionals behind here at this halfway point. And I'll get big dimensionals for that. And I think maybe 5 of them will be sufficient. Okay, they're all off there. And the dimensionals will also help it flip open and then not actually fold it back. Okay, so let's put this on here, and I'll use dimensionals with this as well. Oh, my dimensional little tops are coming off first. Now I don't want to put any dimensional behind the vellum, so I'm just going to focus on putting it behind the flower here. And they are sticking over everything. Okay, now let's go to the minis. And I like when you can kind of deconstruct a sentiment to make it fit what you want it to do. In fact, I don't don't know if I've got the stamp set still out. The card that I'm going to show you that I made earlier, I actually cut the stamp apart, which is pretty easy to do with the photopolymer. And then if you want the other part, you can put them back together again. Okay, there. It's your birthday. Okay, now what I meant to do and totally forgot was to wrap some ribbon underneath this. So if I had waited and looked to see where I had the ribbon, you could put some ribbon behind that. And so I don't know that ribbon really fits on the front of this, so I'm going to skip that. But we do have some gems that go with this suite called Pearls of Beauty. And there are some white ones. There, I don't think those are vanilla enough, so I'm going to go with these kind of gold ones down here. And we've got two sizes, so I'm going to go with the largest one, larger ones. And maybe put a tiny one over here. That'll help hold that down a little bit. So if you put something on the vellum, and let's say I wanted to put a dot of glue there, I could, and that would hide the glue. But vellum has to have something behind it if you're going to add adhesive. Excuse me. So I got 3. Oh, let's go for it. Let's do 5. Whoa. Have to have an odd number though. So there we got the 3. Let's put one over here. So we've kind of got that triangle look. And then one more for our odd number. Let's put one up here on that flower. Okay, I don't know if I think I've shown this before, the way I keep my gems and things. Instead of opening this up, the way it opens like that, I just trim along the edge, then I can slide out what I want. And that makes it a lot easier to keep those, keep them corralled. Okay, so that is what we have for today. I'm real happy with that. There's our envelope. So now go and find a piece of scrap designer paper, and I know you all have it. 5.5 by 12, scored at 4, 8, and 10, and then fold that flap back. So this was the first one that I showed you today. Also birthday. So, and there was the piece of vellum on that one. Did not do an envelope for that one yet. And then this is the one that I did as my little prototype for this card. And this was from the Kinsunig, forget the name of it actually, because it's not that same, but where you have all the cracked things like that. And what came with the thanks, now I could have masked off the other part that was there, but it was like, thanks for helping me through this tough time. And I didn't need that for this, I just wanted a thank you card. So this one opens like that, and then we have a sentiment area inside. If you want more stability on it, you could also put a piece of cardstock over on this side as well. But then that's going to cover up more of your designer paper. And then this is going in the mail tomorrow morning, and it should get there in time for Halloween. This is the design that I made for my little great-grandson, who 4-year-old, who absolutely loves Halloween. He could have Halloween 24/7, 365. He loves Halloween so much. So this was from the little Halloween designer paper. I didn't buy the stamp set to go with it, but I bought the part that had the sticker things that go with scrapbooking, because I figured I could use those for things for him. And so this is a sticker here, the Boo Crew. And this is the designer paper. And he's the official candy taster. I added the bats and the candy corn there. And then these are the parts that come out too. They're not stickers, they're just die cuts. So that's ready to go in the mail. And this is a die cut too. So I think he will like that. He likes things that kind of interactive that he can open. So Gigi, that's what I'm called. Finally got things done in time to get it there on time, because you need Halloween to be there on time. And there's a bat on the front, so that's a sticker as well. So that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed, and you're going to go make some of these. They're lots of fun. Take care. See you next video. Next Monday it will be November. Bye-bye.